Come on out, everybody. Squeeze over, squeeze over. Everybody take a few steps to the right. Overflow, standing room only crowd, standing room only. Come on, Bobby. Good morning. My name is Twomey. I am the chairman of the library. What a wonderful day. Took a long time to get here this morning. And I'm here today, this morning, as you are, because I love libraries. Can everybody hear me in the back? Okay. It started for me as a young boy. As soon as I can pedal my bicycle without my mother or father chasing me behind, I pedaled to my local library. And I wanted to get the answer to a very, very simple question. How fast is the Earth moving through the universe? At 7 years old, I just assumed that was a simple question. I still remember the answer from the elderly librarian. I think she was about 27 at the time. She said to me, "Young man, we are traveling at 550,000 miles an hour as our solar system revolves around the Milky Way galaxy." That's why I brought my car here today, just to remind us how fast we are actually moving through space. Well, I staggered out of the library that morning, stunned by how fast we were going. I raced home on my bicycle, happy with the idea that I was a speed demon. And I was entranced with how quickly our local librarian was able to answer my question. From that day forward, I remembered that number, 550,000 miles an hour. And I was hooked, of course, on my librarian and my library. So that's how I got here this morning. A lot has happened in between. But over the years, I found that particular number very, very useful. For instance, this morning, since April 10th, 2003, 9 years and 4 days ago, when this library filed its application to build the children's wing, there have been 78,936 hours. In that time, at 550,000 miles an hour, we have traveled 43,362,000,000 miles through space. More or less. Now that's a lot of time and a lot of distance, but don't you agree it was well worth it?
How many light years is that?
And as I arrived this morning for this ceremony, I was asked by another young boy another very simple question. Why are we here today, this morning? Well, I said there are 3 reasons. First, we're celebrating the end of a 9-year effort to bring to the community a better library for young and old alike. We're observing a local tradition that began in East Hampton in, believe it or not, 1753. And in that year, this library traces its roots to providing every town resident across the community, the entire town, with access to books and knowledge. And when you think about it, books and knowledge are the 2 cornerstones of a democracy. So we're renewing today our commitment to provide all the residents of the community a place where information is freely and readily available, where knowledge can be secured, and where wisdom can be slowly, sometimes ever so slowly, attained. And lastly, 3, we're thanking here today all who worked so hard to make this day possible. And he said to me, the little boy, "Sounds good to me." Well, it does feel good, doesn't it? And it should. I salute each of you and your commitments, for your generosity, for your perseverance, you understood how important it is to build a place where everyone will be welcome, and where everyone will be able to share what they know with their neighbors, where everyone can learn and fill their heads and their hearts with ideas and dreams. And thank you so much for joining us today for reaffirming your commitment to this very same vision. Thank you for all you have done to help make the East Hampton Library one of the finest small libraries in America. Thank you so much. And now I am going to introduce our president. He's been a board member for many years. We would not be here today if it were not for him. Prior to being a member of our board 10, 12 years ago, he served as the chair of the 350th Anniversary Committee. Most of you were there. It was a grand one-year-long celebration of the history of this town. And before he could say no, we quickly asked him if he would join the library board. Prior to that, going back as a young man, he was the town supervisor of the town of East Hampton. Many of us forget that. He then founded and became the president of our local bank, the Bank of the Hamptons, which then eventually became Suffolk County National Bank, which we'll go back to in a few minutes. In the meantime, between those two careers, he was a sailor out on the high seas for many years, and he became the commissioner of the village of the Department of Public Works here in town, in the village, for several decades. If it weren't for Bruce Collins, I wouldn't be here. He's been my mentor, and he certainly is one of my heroes. Welcome, Bruce Collins.
Thank you, Tom. I don't really recognize that fellow you were talking about. A lot of that's been a long time ago. I'm going to be very brief here at this instant because I'm going to introduce a couple of people, and when they're through, I'm going to come back here and say the few words that I have prepared. I don't have anything prepared because I always speak extemporaneously. But I'd like to, at this moment, recognize Richard Lawler from the village of East Hampton.
Thank you, Bruce. First of all, thank you for having me here today. And the mayor asked me to extend his regrets for not being here today, but he has a prior obligation which he was not able to reschedule. He did, however, ask me to read a brief letter which he has authored in recognition of today. I congratulate the East Hampton Library for their successful and sometimes arduous efforts that have brought the building expansion project to this groundbreaking today. I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say I'm glad to see the difficult task that brought us to this point is finally over. My thoughts today are not about the past, but about the future. The village of East Hampton supports the East Hampton Library and its long-standing efforts to serve the people of our community. In fact, we are very proud to have such an exceptional cultural and educational institution in the heart of the village. It is an important part of our community, and the expanded facility will only enhance the library and the services it delivers. On behalf of the Village Board of Trustees, I recognize and congratulate the East Hampton Library for their determined effort to reach this day when the first shovel is drawn